A California man is recovering this morning after he lost control of his motorcycle, flew off a cliff, and the entire incident caught on camera.
Yeah, you see Matthew Murray go around a curve at about 45 miles per hour before he goes right off
Whoa,
the side
are you kidding me?
of a mountain.
What?
Right? Wow. There's more than a minute of silence before he makes a noise.
Help!
Honestly, my legs were done, so I just kind of crawled up. And once I made it to the top, I just collapsed.
Murray thinks his bike's steering locked up, forcing him to lose control because he says the corner wasn't sharp and he wasn't speeding. He's been riding bikes for several years, so he has plenty of experience, but he says after this accident, he will never ride a motorcycle again.
Yeah, and that pretty much seals the deal for my son Benjamin. Never getting a motorcycle. Never.
We're just getting in more information about why Consumer Reports pulled its recommendation of Microsoft Surface laptops and tablets. It found up to 25% of them may have problems after just 2 years.
And ABC's Eva Pilgrim has more now of what you need to know if you're looking to buy a laptop before school starts.
Get the Surface Pro. I like the blue.
The recommended badge gone. Consumer Reports calling out Microsoft devices for breaking too soon.
We wouldn't recommend that anybody go out and purchase one of these machines right now.
Microsoft's Surface Laptop and Surface Book once on the top of Consumer Reports list of devices to buy, now at the very bottom. Consumer Reports surveyed nearly 91,000 people who bought new laptops and tablets between 2014 and early 2017, finding 25% of people had issues with their Surface devices breaking in the first 2 years, much higher than its competitors. Based on the survey's findings, Consumer Report not just pulling its recommendation for the Surface devices, now going a step further, saying it wouldn't recommend anyone purchase any Microsoft laptops or tablets at this time. Microsoft is a relative newcomer to the hardware business, launching its tablet in 2012. Some of Consumer Reports survey data goes back to 2014 and doesn't reflect any improvements that may have been made to those products since then.
The timing couldn't be worse for Microsoft. We're heading into back-to-school shopping season.
The tech company adamantly defending its devices, writing on its blog, "We stand by the Surface." A part of being product makers is listening to our customers and pushing ourselves to evolve and improve with every generation of devices we create.
Now on Good Morning Las Vegas.
It is 6 a.m. Shade Tree has helped countless numbers of women and children, but now the organization itself needs help.
And news from President Trump this morning. He says that the U.S. is locked and loaded. More on his message to Kim Jong-un in a moment. But first, we begin with Dana with some breaking news.
Yeah, homes on the east side of the valley have been evacuated, and after police have surrounded the home trying to arrest a domestic violence suspect. You can actually hear SWAT talking on the scene, and Parker Collins is there right now, right around Washington and Mount Hood.
Dana, I've heard several loud explosions coming from this direction. I'm not sure if you can hear it on my mic, but we're hearing that loudspeaker. We're hearing the negotiator talking to this guy in the home, begging him, come outside, call 911, pick up your phone, anything to open that line of communication. They have openly said, we are frustrated. We don't want to be out here all morning. I know, like you said, several homes in the area have been evacuated. A lot of people are waiting at a nearby school, just sitting around outside, hoping to go home soon. I've seen police officers going up and down the street, telling people, go inside, don't watch what's happening on here. It could be dangerous. And like I just said, I've heard several loud explosions coming from down in this direction where SWAT are focusing their work. And you can hear on the loudspeaker a lot of this play out.
Somebody's in the house, they are armed possibly. I've heard signals, come out the house, come out with your hands up.
I'm not sure if you just heard that, but another loud explosion just went off behind me as they're trying to get this guy to come outside. Several car alarms are going off at this point. It's down again in this direction past that tape. It got really quiet, and then we just heard that loud explosion go off. This road is blocked off, and you can hear him yelling on this loudspeaker. Again, everything they can to get this guy to come outside, call 911, open those lines of communication. We think this started as some sort of domestic incident, maybe a fight between a couple. I've also heard on the loudspeaker that his family could possibly be outside of this home right now. I know Marissa is in Chopper 13 fast and first over this scene. She'll have a better overall view of this area.
Yeah, Parker, we can definitely hear that loudspeaker behind you. So just a lot of negotiations going on right now. And from the air, we can get a better look at that neighborhood. And Parker, you were talking about how some of these people here have been evacuated or they're being asked to stay inside their homes. Don't come out. So this is the neighborhood we're looking at. You can see not a lot of traffic in the area right now. But again, a lot of people being asked to stay inside. Now, of course, we're going to remain zoomed out. We don't want to give any positions away of the police officers right now, of the SWAT teams, because they are working to negotiate with this person who is refusing to come outside. We have seen SWAT trucks in the neighborhood. We have also seen robots in the neighborhood. So right now, very active in that area. Guys?
All right, thank you, Marissa. So let's talk about how this could affect your morning commute. As of right now, only side streets being blocked off. But again, this is a busy area of town right near Mount Hood in Washington, pretty much across the street from Eileen Bookman Elementary School. So it is a busy area, but as of right now, it doesn't seem to be slowing anything down as far as your morning commute is concerned, but we will keep an eye on it. We do also have a new crash being reported by Metro. Southbound Valley View seeing a little slowdown right near Desert Inn, right near the station. So if you're heading into work, heads up, we are seeing a slowdown in the southbound direction. Westbound 215 at the Windmill off-ramp. This one not really slowing things down because everything is off the road this morning. But your big problem spot still northbound 95 at the Jones exit. A lot of emergency crews out here. Decatur's your best option.
Check your weather forecast. I'm going to have to bump up the chance of scattered showers and storms today. Right now, though, a dry sky looking great. A lot of pretty color there. A paint by number morning sky with no worries about rain for the next couple of hours, at least not here in the valley. However, over toward Mojave County in Arizona and up along the Clark-Lincoln County line, there are a couple of downpours that I'll be watching. And as we head toward 11 in the morning, showers, some possible thunderstorms could drift up from the south or move in from the west, and it's looking like we'll have at least a few downpours to deal with as early as lunchtime. Temperatures not quite as hot as the last few days, up to a high of 103, but more humidity in place. I will track the chance of monsoon storms. We'll see how long into the weekend they last. Beth and Todd in just a moment.
Justin, thank you. Well, new this morning, a local shelter is having to cut its budget, forcing out more than 100 women and children who live there.
13 Action News reporter Marissa Keniston spoke to one woman who is now forced to move out.
I hadn't slept in a bed in 3.5 years.
After being homeless for years, Barbara Mole was able to move into the shade tree until she could get back on her feet. But now she and dozens of other women and children are being forced to move out.
It's hard, you know, it breaks your heart.
The Shade Tree announced they're cutting funding to their transitional housing. That means 160 people living at the Shade Tree long term now have to move out in a matter of weeks. And the Shade Tree is blaming finances. They do receive federal grants and funding, but the main problem comes with private funding. Officials say they just haven't received enough donations and they haven't done as many fundraisers as they needed. Now, women like Mole are scrambling.
It would just be such a shame. This Shade Tree has given so much to the community, and now they need help.
Half of these beds will be empty in the next few weeks, but Shade Tree says hopefully with the help of the community, they can open them back up in the future. If you want more information on their campaign, you can visit our website, ktnv.com. Marissa Keniston, 13 Action News.
And coming up a little bit later on in the broadcast, we're going to tell you how they plan to raise millions of dollars in the next couple of months.
Well, new this morning, a lot of people talking about this. President Trump tweeting about the ongoing tensions between North Korea and the United States, sending this out within the last 2 hours here, saying military solutions are now fully in place, locked and loaded should North Korea act unwisely. He says hopefully Kim Jong-un will find another path. While also North Korea has revealed detailed plans to launch 4 missiles toward the U.S. territory of Guam, and President Trump has warned the North to get their act together. President Trump says the U.S. will always consider negotiations with North Korea. The president will meet with the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, today regarding the standoff with North Korea. She's been leading efforts to sanction the North.
Dana, thank you. 6:06. Double lottery jackpots are up for grabs this weekend. So what are the best tips to getting a winning ticket? Well, some lucky store owners weigh in.
All right, now plus a new study says that alcohol abuse is on the rise and that it's especially true for certain groups. Justin.
Showers and thunderstorms may get cranking as early as the lunch hour. We are going to heighten the chance of downpours both today and your Saturday. We're going to look into the tail end of the weekend because weather changes are coming in the 7-day plan.
And we are in Chopper 13, fast and first, following breaking news for you this morning. Everything you need to know as you head out the door.
Well, there is some alarming news about climate change. A new report from NOAA has found that last year was the hottest in some 137 years.
Yeah, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, released the annual State of the Climate report yesterday. It says a lot of records were broken, including the hottest surface temperatures for oceans and on land.
Well, that report also found that greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide grew faster than any other year. Well, researchers say that this all points to global warming. Every year since 2014 has been the hottest on record.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is now up to $382 million. Add that to Saturday's $356 million Powerball prize, and you've got $735 million up for grabs.
That's a whole lot of money.
A lot of money.
Now, with all that money on the line, players everywhere, of course, they're looking to get an edge. I don't know how quite you could get an edge, but a couple of store owners in Pennsylvania who have sold a $50 million ticket in 2012, well, they have some advice.
You have to play to win, and unless you don't play, you won't win. Let the machine pick your numbers. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you.
See, it's all about karma and computers. There's also some lucky numbers that you should know of for the Mega Millions: 2, 31, and 39. And for the Powerball, 26, 16, and 41. Apparently, I think those numbers hit more often than the others.
It's all chance. Well, good luck. I'd love to see a Nevadan drive over to, and win it. Be great. Well, the time now is 6:11, everyone. Portions of a long-anticipated interstate are getting set to open. We're going to tell you about it.
All right, but first, the back-to-school shopping chaos is in full swing. Parents, you know what we're talking about here. So find out why some parents are now choosing to opt out of the ritual altogether.
Chopper 13, fast and first over a car fire on the 95. It's in the northbound direction right around Rainbow, and you can see fire crews on the scene. It's off to the shoulder, and they pretty much have the fire out at this point, but it is causing a little bit of a backup, of course, because of the smoke, and then people see the flashing lights. And so, again, Chopper 13 getting us some aerial pictures this morning of this. Looks like a pickup truck fire there, Yasmin, but will probably cause a little bit of a delay for a while.
Yeah, so let's talk about the exact area we're talking about. Again, it's northbound 95 right near Rainbow. And the best view is from Chopper, but let me show you what it looks like on the ground. You are going to see a lot of smoke in the air right now as crews work to clear it up. All morning long, I've been telling you to avoid the 95 in Jones. Well, they just cleared up that crash out there, so maybe you want to hop on at Jones instead and just avoid that entire intersection. Again, northbound 95 right near Rainbow. The good news is it's in the northbound direction, so heading away from the Spaghetti Bowl. If you're heading southbound on the 95 coming from the west side of town, traffic looks good. 10 minutes to get to the Spaghetti Bowl right now.
All right, we flip the page and talk about our forecasts, and we do have some changes to tell you about. We are bumping a chance of storms up in today's forecast, and we are going to keep some scattered storms going through the first half of the weekend on Saturday. Disturbance moving through Arizona has some downpours between Phoenix and Flagstaff, a lot closer to the valley, but still about 30 miles to our north. Watching this thunder shower move from Clark County into far southern parts of Lincoln County. Things should remain dry here in the Las Vegas Valley through the rest of the morning commute. The change that I was alerting you to in today's forecast is that, hey, by lunchtime, we could have a few downpours, potentially heavy over by the Spring Mountains and down south, and the storm motion from lunchtime through the afternoon. Anything that forms will be drifting to the east and the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. That's going to minimize our flash flooding threat, but any of these pop-up downpours could contain lightning and potentially some brief gusty wind. Early afternoon, looks like we could still be fighting some downpours. We may catch a break as the storm coverage thins out late afternoon, but this is 5 p.m. and between Henderson and Boulder City, still dealing with the potential for downpours then. Waking up Saturday morning should be dry, but another chance of a few scattered pop-up monsoon storms with a Saturday afternoon. The storm chance is going to drop down to just isolated by Sunday. Next week, start of the school year on Monday, even into Tuesday, humidity drops and we have sunshine and temperatures that won't be too hot. This weekend, though, muggy. The humidity ramped up last night, so it'll feel like a pretty warm 103 this afternoon, 104 tomorrow with that scattered storm chance continuing. But Beth, next week looks great. Highs around 100 for the start of the school year. Should be a great start on Monday.
Justin, thank you. NDOT has announced the first section of Interstate 11 will be open next week. The southbound section is set to open Tuesday. It'll run more than 2 miles between Railroad Pass Hotel and the 95. I-11 is expected to eventually run from the Mexico border all the way up to Canada, going through Nevada, Arizona, and Idaho.
In today's Healthy Living Report, an estimated 1 out of every 8 Americans struggles with an alcohol disorder. That's according to a new study published in JAMA. Well, it tracked drinking patterns among 40,000 people between 2002 and 2003, and then again from 2012 to 2013. Well, the study found a 50% increase in alcohol disorders between those years. The research also found increased alcohol use and high-risk drinking were greatest among women, older adults, and minorities.
If you've wandered into any store this week, you can't miss the back-to-school chaos. But more parents than ever before are opting out of the yearly ritual of searching up and down messy aisles with tired kids in tow. Meet Tabitha, Violet, Gwen, David, Leo, and a baby on the way. This is the Hutchins family. Goes without saying, life is busy, and shopping can be miserable.
I don't enjoy it at all, even when they're behaving.
So this year, for the first time, Mom Samantha did all of her back-to-school shopping online.
I was willing to pay a little bit more money if it was the convenience of not leaving the house with all the kids, and I actually ended up saving money.
Samantha's not alone. 45.5% of Americans are back to school shopping online this year. That's an increase of more than 75% the past 5 years.
And these were $10 in Target. I got them on Amazon for $5.
The kids are thrilled with their back to school loot. Not one mention that they didn't get to go pick it out themselves.
I think I really like the cool Expo markers with the eraser and the spray thing.
So moms like Samantha know every money-saving trick in the book. For example, you already know your kids are going to need lunch boxes and backpacks for next school year. So in the next 6 months or so, start looking for these on clearance.
The best service ever. Saved me hours. This is too good to be true. I can't believe it. And I tried it, and I was just like, I was so happy. I wanted to just tell everyone I know.
Yeah, I was just telling Todd that Samantha got the lunch boxes for 50 cents each on clearance.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
Big savings. If you're curious, Samantha found her deals online through Smith's grocery store. She said they had great back-to-school items and also Amazon. Of course, Amazon has 2-day delivery, so if you're the ultimate procrastinator, you can shop on Amazon today if you're a Prime member.
Right, so
and it'll get here Sunday. Cutting it a little close, but
it's funny. I loved your Facebook post from earlier this week when you went to the store, and it was like you and your family was like in this bunker, like you were just like, all right, we're going for it.
Oh, everyone can relate. You wait, Benjamin will be there before long.
I have some time.
It's 6:21, everyone. A local man using cameras to keep an eye on his neighborhood. Those cameras capture something alarming. Now the man's calling for change.
And coming up later, turning hobbies into cash, how you can do what you love and also earn some money at the same time.
Really good looking start to our Friday. Lots of sunshine on the Valley View cam, Mandalay Bay cam looking good. Watching a couple of clouds up on the north side of the valley. As a matter of fact, there is currently a thunderstorm over the Sheep Range, but we are dry here in Las Vegas. 87 at McCarran. 84 Henderson, 87 North Las Vegas. As mean I am tracking some thunderstorms that could get going before lunchtime. I'll time them out for you next.
All right, thank you, Justin. I actually want to respond to an email that I got yesterday. Lois was wondering about what's going on in front of her house right near Charleston and Fort Apache. Here's what it is. A big project is happening, and it's on Charleston between Town Center and Rainbow. It's overnight work. It starts at 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. and it's going to last 9 months. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. They're improving the sidewalks and they're repaving that area right now.
That big scare for Britney Spears at her Planet Hollywood show is making national headlines.
And ABC's Diane Macedo has more on the man who rushed the stage in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the moment that abruptly stopped a Britney Spears show. Spears was performing her hit song Crazy in Las Vegas Wednesday night when a man from the crowd suddenly stormed the stage. Spears seems shocked. At one point, her knees visibly buckle as she's heard asking if the man has a gun. According to police, the stage crasher, 37-year-old Jesse Webb, was quickly surrounded, held down by Spears' backup dancers before being dragged off stage and arrested for trespassing.
Security was asleep at the wheel. They should have had sufficient resources to ensure that he did not get on stage as he did.
Spears eventually returned to the stage and closed out the show. We'll have the latest on the suspect coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Diane Macedo, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, and apparently Jesse just wanted to dance on the stage. Bad idea, especially in light of what happened that we saw in Manchester with the Ariana Grande concert. Like, everything has changed, unfortunately.
Yeah. Good morning, Las Vegas. We have a lot more coming up for you at 6:30, including this.
He's still in the coma stage, but close to actually coming out of it.
A young boy in a coma after he nearly drowned. His grandparents are scrambling to get enough money for a crucial treatment. How you can help.
And police are doing everything they can to get a man to come out of a home over in this direction. There are evacuation orders in place. I'll tell you what officers told me just moments ago.
And we are in Chopper 13 fast and first, following breaking news across the valley this morning. Hey, if you're next to your smartphone or your laptop, jump on our live stream on our Facebook page. I'll be answering questions on Morning Live.
Now, breaking news from 13 Action News.
It is 6:30. People on the east side hearing booms, seeing smoke as police try and get a man to come out of a house. People have been forced out of their homes for several hours now. Parker Collins live at Washington and Mount Hood with the latest. Boy, it seems really tense there, Parker.
Dana, I have heard several loud explosions, all of them coming from down the street in this direction. One of them went off during my last live hit. I can hear negotiators on that loudspeaker doing everything they can to get this guy to come out of the house. You can hear the frustration in their voice. They say they have a search warrant. They say his family is outside. They want him to pick up the phone, open those lines of communication, but it sounds like that is not happening. Like I said, I've heard several loud explosions. And just moments ago, in fact, an officer came over and told us, please don't go any closer. It could be dangerous. Our fear is this guy could come out with a gun. So there are evacuation orders in place. Several people can't go home. They're at a nearby school. Other people have been told to stay inside. I've been speaking with a lot of people this morning who woke up to these sounds.
I worry a bit because my daughter does live on this street. She's 4. Like this kind of stuff, it doesn't really surprise us too much. It would be better if they could get a better grip on everything going on though.
Police are hoping that this guy will speak to them very soon, but we don't know how long this will last. It's been going on for several hours. And at first, police told us this likely started because of a domestic incident that could mean a fight, a couple fighting. We're just not sure. They haven't yet had time to give us all those initial details. Reporting live, Parker Collins, 13 Action News.
Thank you, Parker. You saw just how many emergency crews were behind Parker right there. The good news is it should not affect your morning commute as of right now because we're only seeing side streets blocked off, but it is happening right near Mount Hood in Washington. So if you're driving through the area and you see some emergency crews, that's what's going on, but it's not slowing things down right now. We do have a crash just being reported within the last few minutes, eastbound Sahara at the 15. Here's a live look at what's going on. You can see troopers out here, one vehicle involved. It's only blocking one lane of traffic, but if you want to avoid it, DI is very fantastic. DI is my favorite street, and it's very light on traffic this morning, and it's not affecting your resort corridor drive times. 8 minutes heading south, 7 minutes heading north right now on the 15.
Yasmin, thank you. It's 6:32.
All right, Mr. Justin Bruce, temperature-wise, things are good, but humidity-wise, different story.
Yeah, you can feel a difference even inside here in the studio with our air conditioning. It's sort of struggling against that humidity, which ramped up while you were sleeping last night, and that's going to set the stage for thunderstorms that could pop up as early as lunchtime here in the valley. So we'll start off with 13 first alert desert Doppler. Dry now, but about 25-30 miles to the north. We do have a downpour over the Sheep Range near the Lincoln County, Clark County line. Let me run our radar into the future because as we approach noontime, we'll likely see some showers and storms pop up around Blue Diamond over the Spring Mountains, and anything that forms today will be drifting off to the east-northeast, so that would take it right through the Las Vegas Valley, possibly as early as midday. 88 degrees as you leave the house this morning, more humidity than we were dealing with yesterday, and that sets the stage for scattered storms from midday through the afternoon. Now, birthday boy Todd mentioned correctly temperatures a little lower than yesterday, but the mugginess is going to more than make up for it. I'm going to track that chance of storms through the afternoon and into the weekend coming up in just a moment.
A local family is hoping hyperbaric treatment can bring their little boy back to them. This is 20-month-old Christopher in his healthier days. He's been in a coma, though, since he nearly drowned in the bathtub. His family says he's making improvements and has opened his eyes. They saw the story of a little girl who recovered from brain damage, and so now they're pursuing hyperbaric treatment here locally. Here's the thing, that treatment costs about $12,000, and it's not covered by insurance.
I'm going to do everything and anything I can to figure out how to pay for this. I'm not going to let him stay like that.
The family's holding a garage sale today and tomorrow. They also have a GoFundMe account. We have all of the information for you on both at ktnv.com. Just look for this story.
8:13 Action News update now about the officer-involved shooting at a local animal hospital last year. We've learned that the suspect, Ronald Clark, has been charged in federal court in connection to the December 19th armed robbery. An off-duty Metro officer, you might remember this one, jumped in and then stopped that robbery, but not before 2 shots were fired in the struggle between the two. Clark County prosecutors dropped all local charges after the federal case was filed.
An update about the Roberto's chef stabbed more than a dozen times by a customer upset about nachos back in June. Marcos Mendiola's sister is telling us that he is not doing well after the attack. She says he's suffering from PTSD and has trouble sleeping at night. She says he's touched by our community reaching out to him with prayers and donations. Meanwhile, Metro needs your help this morning to find this man. They say he robbed a Kohl's near Charleston in Durango. Police say it happened last Friday around 8 o'clock at night. If you know this guy, call detectives.
A Valley man using cameras to try and make his neighborhood safer catches an explosive car arson. Well, just before 4:30 on Wednesday morning, Dean Winford's cameras where they captured a car driving up his street. Well, they leave, but then return a couple minutes later. This is right near the 95 and Boulder Highway. They reach into the broken window of his neighbor's car and appear to pour something, then torching that car.
They're going to be on video at the very least, and if I'm home when it happens, you're going to get addressed.
Well, as of right now, no arrests have been made. The arson remains under investigation.
President Trump is catching criticism this morning for thanking Russian President Vladimir Putin for kicking U.S. diplomats out of his country. Well, the remark was seen as sarcastic by some, but the president claimed the move helped cut down on payroll costs. Over 700 diplomats were kicked out of Russia as payback for U.S. sanctions on the country. Meanwhile, President Trump has made fighting the nation's opioid crisis one of his top priorities.
And I'm saying officially right now, it is an emergency. We're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money on the opioid crisis.
Many consider this a big deal because the government usually only declares a state of emergency for health problems that are contagious. Now people are wondering how the government plans to spend the extra money that will be designated to fight the epidemic. According to the CDC, Nevada's overdose rate is much higher compared to the rest of the nation.
The mother of a 12-year-old New York girl accused of dumping boiling hot water on another girl is now coming to her child's defense. Well, the mom claims that it was really a prank just gone wrong during a sleepover. She shared this video here showing those girls having fun at that sleepover. Well, the mom says that she wants people to see the girls are friends.
Always like prank each other and stuff like that. My daughter was sleeping and Jamani poured cold water on my daughter. And my daughter was like, okay, then since you're going to do a prank, don't go to sleep because I'm going to prank you back.
Well, this picture right here, very, very hard to look at. Jamani here was in the hospital with serious burns to her face and her shoulders. Now, the suspect's mother says that her daughter has tried to take her own life over this incident. The 12-year-old has been charged with felony assault. Well, a new report from Career Builder shows that nearly a third of people are starting to pick up part-time jobs aside from Uber and Lyft. You could also earn cash from your hobbies.
Yeah, and you can work from home, which is attractive to a lot of people. If you like sewing, you can get a job as a pattern maker. You get to work from home and earn anywhere from $12 to $34 an hour. Now, for those of you who like being social, what about becoming a brand ambassador, helping promote events for a business? That job pays $9 to $18 an hour.
And if you like reading and learning, check out part-time jobs as a library assistant or museum educator. Now, experts say two things to really consider before you apply for a side job. One, make sure that you're really good at your hobby, and also treat the job search like you're applying for a full-time position.
Soccer fans, you're invited to attend an event to celebrate pro soccer coming to our city. The event is at Zappos downtown. Starts at 12:30. The first 200 people will receive a Las Vegas Pro Soccer scarf and t-shirt. Governor Brian Sandoval and Mayor Carolyn Goodman will be there. You'll remember the United Soccer League recently announced their expansion to our city. The team will play at Cashman Field.
All right, speaking of pro sports here, if you want to see the Golden Knights live this year, today's your chance to buy some tickets.
Tickets for 3 preseason games go on sale at 8 o'clock this morning. All you have to do is visit goldenknights.com. Prices start at $60.
Okay, so here's a look at those preseason home games. The first one you see right there, it's on your screen. It'll be September 26th against the LA Kings. You see the rest there. Now, single game tickets for the regular season, they will go on sale on Monday.
All right, in trending today, a toilet surprise. Take a look at what an employee found clogged inside the toilet at his work. It would be an iguana. Yeah, the man says he used a plunger to unclog the toilet, and when that didn't work, he removed the plunger and found the iguana peering up at him from the drainage pipe. He says the iguana was safely released back into the wild.
Okay, good thing that the iguana didn't get higher up in that toilet.
Yeah.
All right, time now is 6:39. Yasmin's coughing here off camera. Coming up, several Applebee's and IHOP restaurants, they are closing. Now, could any of the Valley locations be in jeopardy? We'll tell you. Justin.
Dry weather early this morning here in the Valley, but that may change as early as the lunch hour. Through the afternoon, a bump the storm chance up. Looks like more storms are in the picture for Saturday. I do have a first alert about some great weather in the 7-day planner. I'll time out lower humidity next.
And we are in Chopper 13 following breaking news for you this morning. We're also on live stream. You can find the link on our Facebook. Hop on, say hi. We'll give you a behind-the-scenes look inside the chopper.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, tensions are escalating between North Korea and the U.S. as President Trump doubles down on his warning to Kim Jong-un. Will North Korea follow through on its threat to attack the island of Guam? We have team coverage in Korea and Guam this morning, only on GMA.
6:43, happy Friday, everyone. An update to the crash that we've been tracking right near the station, the one right near Valley View and Desert Inn. So if you're going to be late to work or you need a better excuse than this one, everything looks good out there. Also, we've been keeping an eye on the vehicle fire northbound 95 right near Rainbow. There are still some emergency crews out here. You can see some flashing lights. Not really slowing things down just yet, but we will keep an eye on it. Also, we have a car broken down. If you're heading northbound on the 15 to go north on the 95, it's blocking one lane of that ramp, but everything is heading away from the Spaghetti Bowl, so your traffic not really affected. Overall, if you're heading into the center of town, you're looking at just about 65 miles an hour all over the valley.
Yasmin, thank you. Caught on camera, the patrol car of a Utah highway trooper is stolen by two people that he had just put in handcuffs.
Ready?
Huh?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, well, watch this. The suspects then start racing down the freeway. They go faster than 100 miles an hour. Authorities say the woman somehow managed to slip her handcuffs in front of her, then get into the driver's seat to take off. Now, the two, well, they didn't get very far, all thanks to backup. They were quickly arrested. They now face a long list of felony charges, including driving under the influence.
A daring hit-and-run chase is caught on video. It began after a motorcycle rider witnessed a driver slam into several cars and then speed away. The black Mercedes sideswipes one car, rear-ends another, and then the badly damaged Mercedes just took off. That's when the biker, who has a GoPro attached to his helmet, took the matter into his own hands and raced after him. The motorcyclist kept a safe distance until Highway Patrol finally took over.
I didn't want to get involved, but I knew I had to do the right thing and try to chase him down before he hurt or killed anybody else.
The driver of the Mercedes was eventually arrested.
Well, right now, the fifth day of testimony is underway for the criminal case related to the death of a Penn State pledge. New bombshell accusations have been made against members of the Beta Theta Pi fraternity. A detective says that footage of Tim Piazza from the night of his death has been purposely deleted.
Makes us really wonder what could have possibly been on this tape that's worse than what was left behind.
Well, hours of footage showing Piazza in agony, even texts from the fraternity brothers discussing what happened still remain. This hearing is to determine if the fraternity members will stand trial for the 19-year-old pledge's death. Piazza's family attorney says that these new accusations could lead to more charges. And again, it is the fifth day of testimony underway today.
Oh, it's such a sad case. Thank you, Dana. More than 100 Applebee's and IHOP restaurants could soon be closing their doors. The parent company that owns the restaurants say as many as 160 locations could close this year. A majority of them would be Applebee's that are closing. The exact locations have not been announced, and it's not clear how many employees could be impacted, but we'll continue to stay on this story and let you know whether restaurants here will be closing. Amazon is looking to partner with venues in the U.S. to sell event tickets. The move means Amazon is taking on Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster has managed to fend off any competition from upstart companies, but Amazon's hardly an upstart. Matter of fact, that company already has relationships with key music industry insiders, so it's not yet known when the partnership will take place, but chances are Amazon will be able to compete.
Okay, some good news for late night host Jimmy Kimmel after revealing that his newborn son had to undergo surgery for a heart defect back in April. Well, Kimmel is now saying that Billy is doing great.
We're so happy to hear this news. The 3-month-old still needs to undergo 2 more surgeries, but what a beautiful update, right? And look at that picture. Oh, that makes your Friday. Kimmel's touching story about his son's struggles spurred a national conversation about access to health care. The late night host says he has no regrets about sharing his son's story.
All right, a lot of people excited about the Raiders coming to town, right? But the question is, once they get here, where is everyone going to park? Well, next week we could get our first look at some of the guidelines for parking around the new Raiders stadium.
A report set to go to the Zoning Commission says the stadium will only provide 2,400 of the required 16,000 spots. That means developers will need to secure thousands of parking spaces off-site. Shuttle pickup points are set to be placed around town. There are also plans for pedestrian bridges so fans can walk to the stadium from the Strip. But the idea of just pulling right up to the stadium and walking in, not going to happen.
Not going to happen. All right, now in California, the Raiders right now, their training camp is underway. Fans are still showing up despite the team's plans to move.
They're not necessarily deserting me as a fan. They're deserting Oakland.
It hurts, don't get me wrong, but they're the Raiders.
It's somewhat of an annual event for some fans to show up to training camp in Napa. This is the team's 22nd season returning there to train. A lot of fans that were watching the players practice say they plan to still support the team once they make their move here to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and why not? Because I think they're set for have a pretty good year.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we are just now 2 weeks away from the big Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight, and both guys right now busy at the gym getting ready here.
Yes, Mayweather says both he and McGregor are confident in their skills, but the true test, he says, comes when they get in the ring.
When the bell rang and you're across from me and you look around, damn, it's really here. And me, Just another day.
Boy, he's confident, right?
Yeah.
And had some lines yesterday formed for hours. A lot of people there wanted to check him out at his gym right near Spring Mountain in Valley View. Fans waited for their chance to see the boxing champ before he began his workout. Now, McGregor will hold his workout today over at UFC headquarters in the southwest part of the valley.
Now, if I was the fight promoter, I would have had McGregor show up at Mayweather's press conference.
Ooh, that's good.
Ooh, that would have been good.
I had no idea that our station was 2 blocks away from Mayweather's.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't run into him at the 24-hour sandwich shop when I'm getting my meatball sub at 9 in the morning. Maybe one day. Let's talk about the forecast because, guys, I'm going to bump up the rain chance and the storm chance today. So there's a change for you. The first